This is a basic tutorial of the gamma spec stations at UNET. If you're at station 8, your first step is to turn on the MCA. At stations 4 and 5, this occurs automatically. Our first step on the computer is to find the Genie 2000 folder and open it. In here we're going to open the Gamma Acquisition and Analysis. Now we come up to File, Open Data Source, select Detector, select the detector, and then click Open. This tells the Genie 2000 software what kind of detector is hooked up, so it will perform calculations accordingly. You can see the previous user's data left over here. We're going to clear that out. Then we're going to MCA, Adjust, come down to High Volt Power Supply. The voltage limit is preset for the detectors, so we do not adjust this. We come over to Status, click On, and you can see it says Wait. While it's charging, we can't do anything. This prevents us from causing any damage by telling the detector to do things while it's charging. This does take a few moments. Now we can exit, come back up to MCA, go to Acquire Setup. In here we're looking at the time preset. We have an option of real time and live time. Real time is time as it would pass on the clock. If we set it for 10 minutes, the detector will run for 10 minutes and then be done. Live time is the time that the detector is actually analyzing. If the detector gets overwhelmed, it will stop detecting. This time that it's not detecting is called the dead time. So if we tell the detector to run for 10 minutes live time, it could take longer than that. The real time that would pass would equal the live time plus the dead time. Typically we run in real time. Our other options are seconds, minutes, and hours. This is to simplify the time input. Instead of having to calculate how many seconds are in your desired amount of time, we can input them as a larger unit. Right now it's set for 1800 seconds, which is 30 minutes, or 0.5 hours. We'll go ahead and leave it. This is displayed right here at the preset. We have 1800 seconds, and once it starts, this time we'll click up and show how much time has passed. So we can go ahead and click Start. As you can see, the time is now passing. We'll come up down here to Marker Info, and we'll click Next. Now we have Time Info, which shows us the moment we actually clicked Start and time as it's passing, and it'll tell us our percent of dead time. Now we come up to Edit, Sample Info. Here we need to input some sample information. Sample title. Today's will be Mystery Sample. The collector's name. This is just your name. Sample description. This is just a quick little thing about ours. So we'll say we're doing the Mystery Sample Lab. Sample number 1. On the right we have type, which is the type of container, glass, plastic. Quantity is the amount in units. In this case is grams. If it was liquid, we put milliliters. Down here we have sample date. This information needs to be the same as this information right here. So we're going to go ahead and change that. And the last thing in this menu is Load Cal. This brings up our calibration files. There are many different calibration files in here for other people's projects and experiments. We're going to open up the Energy Cal. And okay. So now we're done and it just needs to run. Obviously we're not going to sit here for 30 minutes while it just runs, so we're going to go ahead and click Stop. We're going to come up to File, Open Data Source. This time we're going to open a file. Here you can see everybody's saved files. We're going to open up this uranium soil, and this is what a full graph could look like. And you can see they've already have some peaks labeled, and for that we just come up to Analyze, execute sequence, and in this case we're going to come down to UNEP natural. As you see, we have many different peaks labeled in this case, and it gives you just a little bit of information if you hover over the peak. Down below, it has generated a report including the name and peak information. Now we can come up to Calibrate, come down to Efficiency Show, and this shows us our efficiency graph. We can also click List Peaks, and it gives us a short list of peaks. The efficiencies will be covered in a different tutorial. So now we're going to go File, Close. We're not going to save because this is not ours. And we're back to ours, where we have just a few little peaks started. Now we need to come up to MCA and adjust high volt power supply, and now we're going to click off since we're all done. Now while the charge is dissipating, we have to wait again. We can't exit, and again this does take a few moments. Now we can exit, come up to File, and Exit. And we do not save any changes, and that is the walkthrough of the Gamma Spec stations.